Hello again, welcome back. My name is Melissa Lemon, and thank you for joining me in my meditation and sacred secretion series here on YouTube at Sunrise Healing. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about the moon being in your sun sign and how to kind of figure that out, how to find that online. Excuse me. So, I want to talk for a minute though about an experience I had last year where I just was kind of like downloads were coming so much easier, even though I wasn't really meditating. And I learned that both those times I kind of investigated, and the moon was in Pisces. And so the reason I want to share that is because when the moon is in your personal sun sign, your personal zodiac sign, um, that is the number one best time for you to practice the sacred secretion. And I would say the second best time to practice meditation is when the moon is in Pisces. If you really just want to kind of like jumpstart your meditative experience and be having those powerful meditative experience, just a little tip there. But the purpose of this video is to show you how to find out how do I know when the moon is in my sun sign. If you're not personally tracking that, which most people aren't anymore because we have technology to track it for us, then I'm gonna show you how to find it. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you. So I use a couple of different things, and one of them is this website called AstroSeek. So it's astro-seek.com, and this is the home page. So right here on the top bar is this moon calendar, and the top one is moon calendar, and this is it. So one little click and you're here, and you can change the month up here. So if you want to come back every month and check it, what I usually do is sit down and check it for a year or 18 months. So I've kind of got it written down and listed, and I'm creating some calendars that I can like help people, like here's your Scorpio calendar for the next couple of years, and I'll have that available for the people who come to my retreat in October, because this is kind of what I'm talking about at that retreat. One of the things we're talking about at that retreat is the sacred secretion and human design. So stay tuned for that later this year. But if you want to just come back here every month in preparation, so I'll come back, I'll write it on my physical calendar. You can put it on your phone, wherever you're going to remember what it is. So the months are up here at the top, and then the years are down at the bottom of the screen, and it's the same on the mobile version, I believe. Months at the top, years at the bottom. So you can literally like get a calendar for a few years if you want. They even have this customize and print your favorite annual moon calendar. I have not tried this yet, but I'm definitely going to go play around in there. So it's possible you could create your own. I don't know how good that is. But one thing I want to talk about is, I've mentioned a little bit, when the moon is in your sun sign for 2.5 to 3 days to 5 days, and it's in your like time wise, like physical time, hour wise, it's in the sign about 2.5 days, but sometimes that's overlapping 3 days, just because of the nature of time. So it's always this, pretty close to the same amount of time, but sometimes it overlaps 3 days. So if you want to continue at 2 days past that time, that would be just an extension of the astronomical value of that sign. So this is according to Western astrology this time, which Western astrology is about where the planets are from our actual physical perspective. And then the 2 days past would be more of the Vedic astrology, which is mathematically calculated based on where the planets are in the sky. And so you can do that, optional. You don't have to, but you can. Those 2.5 days, that 2.5 day window is the most important. So when you get here and you're in the year and the month that you want, so I'm in January 2026. January is about over, so I'm actually going to go to February. And then what you want to do is come here and look for your sun sign in this row right here. So you need to know your sun sign in astrology. Most people, probably already know that. If you don't, you can look it up. You can leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you. But you're just looking for your sign in here. And then once you've found it, let's give Pisces as an example, because this is where the 3 days come in. See, it's in Pisces, these two mostly full days, but it actually starts the day before. So Aquarius ends at about this time, 2:09 p.m. So this is the time where the moon enters into Pisces, is right here at 2:09. So that's what you're looking for, is your starting date. So February 17th at 2:09 p.m. would be like the start of your sacred secretion practice. This is actually the time that your brain is going to respond to the moon, and it's going to secrete those secretions from your pituitary and your pineal glands to begin traveling down your spinal cord. And so that's the beginning. And then it goes to the end. So it'll tell you when it's going into the next sign. So from February 17th at 2:09 p.m. until February 19th at 7:39 p.m., that's your sacred secretion practice. And so I literally mark the date and the time, so I kind of know exactly what's going on. Now, is it exactly that minute? Probably not, but it's just to give me an idea. I think it's probably pretty close to that minute. I do think it's probably pretty accurate. So we were talking about Pisces, but notice how this Aquarius is a new moon. So the reason I'm showing you that is because if your sacred secretion falls on a full moon or on a new moon, it might be extra powerful. It might be an extra powerful meditative experience, or an extra powerful opportunity to get that sacred secretion down and back up again. So again, remember, that's going to depend on our own efforts of what we're trying to do and abstain from during that time. But that is the general gist of how to find your sacred secretion. And I'm going to come back and stop sharing. But sorry, my camera was off and then I was gone. Okay, so I just wanted to share, there is an app that I use also. It's called Deluxe Moon, and I don't pay for it, so I just have the free version. So I don't think I can actually change the settings from like Western to Vedic like I was talking about. But if you are even on the basic, not paying for it, and you click the center button on the home screen, it takes you to a calendar, and it shows you the tropical and the sidereal, and you can kind of gauge it. But basically, it's just 2 days past when the Western ends, so it doesn't really matter. Like that other website, honestly, it's easier to get the information as quickly as possible, and then just know that if you want to go about 2 days past that, you're going to be going into the Vedic, Vedic astrology as well. So that is it for today, I think. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and if that was confusing. Hopefully it wasn't confusing, but if it was, like, be patient with yourself. This is probably all very new information, or potentially it could be very new information. So just be patient with yourself as you try to figure that out. Remember, the moon's always going around that 2.5 days in every sign. It's going to come back around next month. So if you missed it this month, or if like it's too hard to figure it out by next month, it's going to come back again in 28.5 days or whatever. So, so no stress, no worries. So keep that body in flow. Okay, thank you guys so much. We will see you tomorrow for my final video before I start the specific meditations for the zodiacal signs. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.